All right. We're live?
We are live.
We're live. All right. Wait for a few folks to join in. If you could just double check it's all streaming correctly.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Welcome to the live stream. We are going to watch the GPT-5 live stream together. This is going to be a fun watch party. I have my producer, Alex, joining me.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, so we got the OpenAI Summer Update live stream ready to go. We're just waiting. We're about 6 minutes out right now. Let us know in the chat where you're from. Where are you watching this from? I want to see everybody. Yeah, so excited. Definitely excited. This is a big day for anybody who is even remotely in the world of artificial intelligence. Hopefully a very big leap. The embargo for all the news lifts at 10 a.m. So we might be able to say a little bit more then, but for now, we're just going to watch it together. All right, where we are from? Brazil. Andre's from Brazil. Rio de Janeiro, India, Arizona, Egypt, Minnesota, prison. All right, welcome. Pakistan, Slovakia, Canada, the great state of California. That's where I'm from. Alex, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Oregon. Is anybody from Oregon? I see Missouri, India, Austria, London.
All over the world. New Orleans. Oh, I love New Orleans. Been there. Russia, Netherlands, Serbia, Vietnam, Germany, Mom's Basement. Welcome from Mom's Basement. Paris. Is this releasing today? Yes. GPT-5 is being released today, or at least we're finding out information about it. I guess I can't definitively say it will be, but I just have to assume it will be. Israel, welcome. New Jersey, Indonesia, Somalia, Warsaw, Iowa, Denmark, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Slovakia. Awesome. Welcome. All right. So, yeah, I'm super excited. We've had a lot of flavors of GPTs. We've had GPT-4, GPT-4o, 4.1, 4.5, the O series of models. And now, hopefully, they're going to get the naming correct. We have GPT-5, and we'll see what comes after that. What do you think? They're going to continue with the wonky naming?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll probably get GPT 5.5, 5.1, 5.1 nano,
5.10?
5.10, exactly.
Do you think we're going to get multiple sizes of this model today?
I hope so.
Or
I definitely hope
speeds?
that there's going to be like a mini and a nano for sure. I think GPT 4.1 mini was one of my favorite models to just talk to. It's super fast.
Yeah,
So,
I say this all the time. I think people underestimate how important speed is. And for 99% of use cases, you don't need these high-end thinking models that take minutes to get you your response. You really just need the quickest response. Really, the vast majority of my use cases, I'm using GPT-4o.
Yep. Or I'm using Grok 4 and I'm pressing the quick answer button or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping it's got like the route LLM thing. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but that just
so like
picks
it's
the
choosing
model.
the best model.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if we're going to get that today. We'll see. But I know he's mentioned, Sam Altman, that routing in general is in the future, right? They don't want people to have to think about which model for which use case. And so I think it's all converging on a single unified interface. And then all of the flavors of the different models, the sizes of the different models will be handled on the back end.
Yeah, that's the hope, right? They've talked about it multiple times, and the drop down tab still is kind of a nightmare. So
yeah. Ooh, someone's saying the API the pricing is out on the API platform. Okay, let me check that out. Yeah, I should probably be very careful sharing my platform dashboard, huh?
Maybe.
Oh, yep, it is here. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna share this tab. I think it's out. I think you can try this. Okay, I'm going to share this tab. Hopefully I'm not exposing any
try.
API keys. All right, let's look at this. GPT-5. Here's the price. $1.25 per million input, 12.5 cents per cached input. That is a significant discount, a tenth of the price. $10 per output, per million output. 400,000 token context window there. 128 max output tokens, 128K, I should say. September 30th, 2024 knowledge cutoff. That's pretty surprising, but I guess it really doesn't matter if it has access to the internet. But that is weird, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think giving it internet access is what really matters, though. Now, I'm not a big API user, API key user. Is that expensive?
I think I need to check relative to others. Oh, look at this. GPT-5 Nano, or Mini and Nano. Look at
confirmed.
that. 5 cents and 25 cents. Okay, that is
That's
very cheap. I
super
don't
cheap.
think this is expensive. I think this is relatively cheap.
I guess if you're like replacing an employee with it, right? That's or doing more with your employee with it.
Right. I'm more of the latter. I fall into the latter bucket.
Yeah. I remember when we were first, like, AI was coming in, you were talking about like a $200 plan for ChatGPT or whatever, $2,000 plan they were talking about being expensive. I'm like, all right, but if it does, someone's job or make someone's job that much better,
totally
it's worth it.
So I went to the playground. The model GPT-5 is not available. Maybe if I refresh it right now, because it's 10 a.m. And maybe it's going to work this time. Let's see. There it is. There it is. All right.
I think the stream's probably starting, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing that. Let me get back to sharing the other screen. All right, it is 10 a.m. So I'm gonna share a couple things. Oh, never mind. Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
And since then, it has become the default way that people use AI. In that first week, 1 million people tried it out. And we thought that was pretty incredible. But now, about 700 million people use ChatGPT every week and increasingly rely on it to work, to learn, for advice, to create, and much more. Today, finally, we're launching GPT-5. GPT-5 is a major upgrade over GPT-4 and a significant step along our path to AGI. Now, today, we're going to show you some incredible demos. We'll talk about some performance metrics, but the important point is this. We think you will love using GPT-5 much more than any previous AI. It is useful, it is smart, it is fast, and it's intuitive. GPT-3 was sort of like talking to a high school student. There were flashes of brilliance, lots of annoyance, but people started to use it and get some value out of it. With GPT-4, maybe it was like talking to a college student. Real intelligence, real utility. But with GPT-5, now it's like talking to an expert, a legitimate PhD-level expert in anything, any area you need, on demand, that can help you with whatever your goals are. And we are very excited that you'll get to try this. But it's not only asking now. GPT-5 can also do stuff for you. It can write an entire computer program from scratch to help you with whatever you'd like. And we think this idea of software on demand is going to be one of the defining characteristics of the GPT-5 era. It can help you plan a party, send invitations, order supplies. It can help you understand your healthcare and make decisions on your journey. It can provide you information to learn about any topic you'd like, and much more. This is an incredible superpower on demand that would have been unimaginable at any previous time in history. You get access to an entire team of PhD-level experts in your pocket, helping you with whatever you want to do. And anyone, pretty soon, will be able to do more than anyone in history could. So today, we're going to talk about GPT-5. We'll show you some upgrades to ChatGPT, and we'll talk about the API. GPT-5 is great for a lot of things, but we think it's going to be an especially important moment for businesses and developers, and we're very excited to see what they're going to build with this new technology. So we can't wait for you all to start building with this. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed building it for you. And to start, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Mark, our Chief Research Officer, to tell you about GPT-5. Thank you.
All right, Mark Chen.
Hi, I'm Mark, and I'm joined by Max, who leads the post-training team, and Rennie from our engineering team. Over the past few years, OpenAI has spearheaded the reasoning paradigm. These are models which pause to think before delivering more intelligent responses. Now, reasoning is at the heart of our AGI program, and it underlies the technology that we use to ship stuff like ChatGPT Agent and deep research. GPT-5 aims to bring this breakthrough to everyone. Until now, our users have had to pick between the fast responses of standard GPTs or the slow, more thoughtful responses from our reasoning models. But GPT-5, it eliminates this choice. It aims to think just the perfect amount to give you the perfect answer. Now,
All right, I'm just going to pause it for a second. That means we are finally getting this combination of hybrid reasoning. So both instant responses and you get the longer responses when you need it.
something like
Finally.
this takes a lot of hard work. We've had to do a lot of research to make GPT-5 the most powerful, the most smart, the fastest, the most reliable, and the most robust reasoning model that we've shipped to date. Today, we're going to show a series of demos in coding, in writing, in learning, and in health. But GPT-5 isn't limited to these domains. It's very useful in all cases where you require deep reasoning or expert level knowledge, in things like math, in physics, even in things like law. And the exciting thing is, we're excited to make this available to everyone, even to our free tier. After we show our
Whoa.
demos, we're going to be talking about how GPT-5 supercharges our ChatGPT app and our API. We believe that GPT-5 is the best coding model on the market today. To start, let's have Max talk a little bit about the
Wait, what am I paying $200 a month for then?
benchmarks and how the models stack up.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So as Mark said, we think GPT-5 is by far our smartest model ever. So let's start by talking through some evals. Now, evals aren't everything, and they don't tell you everything about a model, but they can highlight its intelligence. And GPT-5 performs exceptionally well on a range of academic evals across subjects. It outperforms both our previous models and other models on the market. So picking up first on the theme of coding, GPT-5 sets a new high on SWE-bench, which is an academic eval that tracks performance on real software engineering tasks.
I don't think that looks right here. Just the sizes of the bars look a little
Yeah.
wonky to me.
Now, this again is an eval, but we think it will reflect the model's performance in the real world. GPT-5 also performs very well on Aider Polyglot, which measures its ability to implement complex functionality in a variety of different programming languages. Now, beyond coding, GPT-5 performs exceptionally well at multimodal reasoning, setting a new high on MMMU, actually outperforming both our previous models and most human experts on this task. This is basically a visual reasoning domain where you are asked to, from an image, figure out what's going on. GPT-5 is also excellent at mathematical reasoning, as shown by...
Look at that, a 100 score. 100 right there. I can't remember, did Grok ace it as well?
I think so. I think Grok was
Okay.
the first, right?
Okay, but still,
its performance on
I
Amy
mean, 100.
2025.
Aced it.
Now, this
Amy
is an
2025.
exam that American high school students take to qualify for the International Mathematical Olympiad, and GPT-5 performs exceptionally well. Again, beating our previous models and other models that are out there. Now, moving beyond academic evals and more towards some real-world use cases, we put a lot of work into making GPT-5 the most reliable and accurate model in the world. Language models historically have been plagued by hallucinations, factual errors, that make it hard to rely on their outputs for actually important tasks. For GPT-5, we made improving factuality, especially on open-ended or complex questions, a priority. We also built a set of new evals to track this, and we're very happy to report that GPT-5 is by far our most reliable, most factual model ever. GPT-5 also performs exceptionally well on health-related questions. Now, health is a big part of how people get value from ChatGPT in the real world. We'll talk about this later on in the live stream. But again, we're very happy to report that GPT-5 is by far our most reliable model for health yet. So all of this together adds up to a model that is faster, more reliable, and more accurate for everyone who uses ChatGPT. So now Rennie will talk to you about how to actually use GPT-5.
Thanks, Max. The best part is that we're bringing this frontier intelligence to all users. GPT-5 is rolling out today for
All right.
3+ Pro and Team users.
Wow.
And next week, we'll roll it out to Enterprise and EDU.
That's
For
crazy.
the first time,
That's nuts.
crazy. Free. So their frontier model free from day zero. So Thank you, GPT-4o. You've been amazing.
See you later.
See ya. But dang, that's incredible.
Do you think
Our
it's
most
going to be like
advanced-
super limited?
Yeah, probably the free tier
gotta
is
be,
going to be
right?
limited.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it makes me feel better about paying $200 a month.
model will be available to the free tier. Free users will start with GPT-5, and when they hit their limit, they'll transition to GPT-5 Mini, a smaller but still highly capable model. It actually outperforms O3 on many dimensions. Plus users will still have significantly higher usage than free users, and our Pro subscribers will get unlimited GPT-5, along with GPT-5 Pro, extended thinking for even more detailed and reliable responses when you just need that extra depth. Team, enterprise, and EDU customers can also use GPT-5 reliably as their default model for everyday work, with generous rate limits that enable entire organizations to use GPT-5. And all the tools you already know, search, file and image upload, data analysis with Python, Canvas, image generation, memory, custom instructions, they'll all just work on GPT-5.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Max. Thank you so much, Rennie. We've just seen a lot about how the model stacks up in terms of benchmarks.
All right, I want to pause for a second to do a little promotion. I was fortunate enough to interview Mark Chen, this man right here, and we talked all about GPT-5. That's going to be dropping in a couple hours at about 12:30 p.m. PST, so be sure to check it out on X and YouTube. Full interview dropping soon.
But there's nothing quite like seeing it live. We're going to see a couple of live demos now presented by Tina, by Elaine, and Jan. Thank you so much. Elaine, can you show us how smart the model is?
Sure, thanks so much, Mark. I'm Elaine. Reasoning ChatGPT's ability to think deeply through complex problems is now built into GPT-5. It will automatically think whenever needed, delivering a more comprehensive, accurate, and detailed answer to you. Just as Sam said, it's like having a team of PhDs in your pocket. So let's see that in action. Suppose your kid is in middle school physics and they want to learn about Bernoulli effect. They need your help with their homework, and you might be like, wait, I might need some help with that too. So you could ask GPT-5, give me a quick refresher on the Bernoulli effect and why airplanes are the shape they are. Since this is a pretty straightforward prompt, GPT-5 actually doesn't need extra time to think about it and answers right away. But it still gives me a high-quality answer and explains the concept clearly. So here it says, like, Bernoulli effect means like faster-moving fluid has lower pressure and slow-moving fluid has higher pressure. So to make this even more helpful, I'm going to ask GPT-5 to create a moving demo to illustrate this. So I could ask, explain this in detail, and create a moving SVG in the Canvas tool to show
Typing
me.
live in a live demo.
This
It's no
is a
joke,
pretty
man.
complex
Fingers are all
task
nervous.
because
confident,
now
though.
GPT-5 actually needs to build the visual. Therefore, GPT-5 takes a moment to think through the answer so it can come back with something more comprehensive and accurate. What's really nice is that you don't need to remember to turn on thinking each time. GPT-5 will do it for you automatically whenever the task benefits from deeper reasoning. If you really want to make sure that GPT-5 uses thinking, you can either say something like, think hard about this in the prompt to guide the model, or if you're a paid user, you can choose the GPT-5 thinking model from the model picker. Now you can see that the model is actually writing the front-end code to build the demo I asked for. So Christina, have you ever done some front-end coding before?
Yeah, actually the last time I touched any front-end coding was about 3 years ago for the first demo of ChatGPT.
Wow, so it's the first ChatGPT. That's where it all begins. Tell us more about it.
It wasn't even called ChatGPT then. I think it was called Chat with GPT.
That's a really good name.
Always good at naming. But I'm not a front-end expert, and I really hadn't touched front-end in quite a while, so it took me quite a bit of time to get the React app up.
I see, that's a lot of work. So how long did it take you to build something like that?
Honestly, maybe embarrassing to admit, like a week.
Well, but your weeks
General
of hard
hobbyist,
work
Pliny's gonna
actually paid
jailbreak
off
it
well.
within
See
30
how
minutes.
successful ChatGPT it
Already
is today
jailbreaking.
after your first demo. So you know what? I'm also building a demo right now, but
Hannah's
luckily
Cat Cafe,
I
I
have
do think this
GPT-5
is
with me
live.
right now, and let's see how long it will take
Hey,
this
Julia
time.
McCoy, good to see
Maybe we
you.
should call it 5 with GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you see that GPT-5 has already written like more than 200 lines of code already. And while the model is thinking, you can also tap here to expand the chain of thought to actually see what's going on under the hood. For example, the GPT-5 was thinking about, oh, the user wants a moving SVG visualization in Canvas. I actually need to create HTML.
And remember, this is not the raw chain of thought. This is a summary filtered. Obviously, when you use the open source model that was released 2 days ago, you do get the raw chain of thought. And I'll go into why at another time, why that's important. Let's keep watching.
Code to do that. It also think about like what kind of front-end tool I need to use, for example, React and Tailwind. It also thinks about, oh, I need to ensure the physics are accurate. I need to check what the Bernoulli principle is. So Christina, since you're here from the first day of ChatGPT, can you tell us like what it was like at that time and what motivated ChatGPT?
Yeah, I think at the time we weren't really sure about like how people would actually use it and what use cases were important. We were even going back and forth about maybe we should be releasing something that's like more specific to a certain use case. And it's really cool now here that we have all these. We have a much better understanding of how people actually want to work with chat, and we can actually optimize the model for those use cases, like coding.
Yeah, exactly. Do you still remember how it felt like when you first talked to ChatGPT, like the first version of the model?
Yes, I don't know if people remember when the first version of ChatGPT would always start, as an AI model, I can't do something, something. And it's so great to see how far we've come from that personality.
Yeah, it's much more human-like right now. Okay, so it's already done. So look like ChatGPT just finished like 300 or we're near 400 lines of code in 2 minutes.
Lexler, GPT-5
see if
is
the
not
code can
kind of
actually
slow.
run.
I've been testing it
Okay.
over the last week.
Nice.
It is not
Yeah.
slow.
So with just a simple prompt, GPT-5 created this interactive and engaging demo that I can actually play with. So I can actually change the airspeed here to see how the lift and the pressure change accordingly. I can also tweak the angle of attack to see if my plane will actually fly or crash.
I hope not.
Yeah. So GPT-5 can just bring any hardcore concept to life in moments. Imagine you can use this for.
Let me just pause it real quick. Right after this video, right after this live stream, I'm going to drop my thorough test of GPT-5. I've had it for the last week. I've been testing it like crazy with Alex, and it is incredible. It's about a 30+ minute test video, so definitely check it out. I'll drop it on YouTube. I'll also have a thread on X, so check it out.
Or anything that you're interested in, whether it's math, physics, chemistry, or biology. GPT-5 just makes learning so much more approachable and enjoyable.
Hannah says this is definitely the Horizon model.
Thanks, Elaine.
I think you
I've been
could
a
be
part
right.
of ChatGPT since day one, and it's really cool to see all the progress we made since then, especially with capabilities like writing. Writing is one of the most common use cases people have been using ChatGPT for, and we're excited to say with GPT-5, we've improved the writing quality significantly.
Stanny, I'm doing it through
It's a
both.
much more effective partner. It can help you
UI and
elevate
Playground.
anything from drafts to emails and even stories. Let's see this in action. So with GPT-5, we'll actually be deprecating all of our previous models. I think they've done a pretty good job, so let's make sure we
Wait.
can give them a proper goodbye. So we're
All
going
of
to
the
ask
models?
both 4.0 and GPT-5 to write a eulogy to our previous ChatGPT models. We want it to be heartfelt and heartwarming, but also
what?
hopeful.
Wow.
So let's ask GPT-5 for it. And as it's thinking, we're
I guess
actually going to
that
go
is-
ahead and read.
I guess that's it. They're
preloaded the
going
4.0
single model.
response.
Omni
Even
model.
03?
So 4.0
What happened to
decides
04?
start with today, as we prepare
yeah,
to welcome
exactly.
GPT-5
What?
into the world, we gather to
That's
bid a heartfelt
crazy.
farewell to the models that came before. It's a decent start.
Hashem,
let's
do I
kinda
like
skim through
GPT-5
and
as a
find
writer?
another line. Your
Yes,
words
although I
reached
didn't really
across
test
the
it for
globe,
creative writing.
building connections where there had been
How do
none.
you verify it's good or not?
I
You just
personally
read
don't
it
really
and
like
it's
this line because it's rather
subjective, so,
generic
yeah,
and really
or
without the
objective.
previous context, it just feels like it could be about anything and feels more
Why'd
like a
they even announce
templated
that they were
response.
depreciating 4.5?
Now, let's
if they
go
were
back
just
to
gonna
GPT-5
can
to
all
see
the
what it's
models at
giving
once.
us.
Yeah.
It starts with friends, colleagues, curious strangers who became regulars. Even with this just first line here, we can see that GPT-5 has a lot more rhythm and beat to its prose than 4.0 did. Now let's find some other lines here. I actually like this. These models help millions write first lines, last lines, bridge language gaps, pass tests, argue better, soften emails, and say things they couldn't quite say alone.
Andres
I really like this
Santos,
line
did I
because it
test
shows
for
that
coding?
it's not
Of
just a
course I
templated
tested
response,
for
and it's
coding. That was like
actually quite
90% of my
personal,
test
and
video.
it
Wait
gets the
till you
nuance
see
of
what
the
it's
situation
capable
right.
of.
And I think that's the kind of stuff that GPT-5 does much better than 4.0 than before.
I'm gonna try
It
not to
actually
pause
makes
the
things
video
a lot
anymore.
more genuine and emotionally resonant with people. With GPT-5, the responses feel less like AI and more like you're chatting with your high IQ and EQ friend.
Thanks, Christina.
Matthew
My
Pottinger,
name is Jan,
4.0 was
and
my
I'll be
bro.
telling
What
you
the
about
F?
some of the progress that we made on coding. GPT-5 is clearly our best coding model yet. It will help everyone, even those who do not know how to write code, to bring their ideas to life.
It just helped me.
Indeed, and it will help me right now. So I will try to show you that. I will actually try to build something that I would find useful, which is building a web app for my partner to learn how to speak
Drop an
French
F in
so that
chat
she can
for
better
4.0,
communicate
everybody.
with my family.
It's been good.
So here I have a prompt. I will execute it. It asks exactly what I just said. Please build a web app for my partner to learn French. One thing to note is that GPT-5, just like many of our other
Fish
models,
is it the best model I've ever
has a lot of
used.
diversity in its answers.
You'll have to see.
So what I like doing,
It's hard
especially
to
when you
say
do
if
this
it's
type
the
of
best
vibe
model.
coding,
It's definitely,
is
I would say,
to take
top,
this message
top 2.
I mean,
ask
I
it
think between
multiple
it and
times
Grok
to GPT-5,
4
and then you can decide
Gemini,
which one you prefer.
Gemini
the most, like the
2.5
recent
Pro,
update
yeah.
of Gemini.
I'm going
I
to
think
open
so.
a few tabs.
Yeah, F's in
Just gonna
chat.
paste
F's in
F's
chat for
07,
4.0.
Yeah.
Get them in chat.
Great. So while it's working on it, let's read through exactly the prompt I wrote. Create a beautiful and highly interactive web app for my partner, an English speaker, to learn French. And then I gave a little bit more details. Track her daily progress, use a highly engaging theme. Oh, it's already working. I'm going to put it on the side for now. Use a highly engaging theme. Include a variety of activities like flashcards and quizzes that she can interact with. And then to make it even more fun for her, I actually asked GPT-5 to embed an educational game, which is based on the old Snake
Max
game.
Capiston,
but I
what's my
asked
favorite
to
model?
add this
Of course,
French touch
GPT-5
to it,
right now.
which is to replace the
Because it's
snake
new.
with
There's
a
a
mouse
novelty aspect to
and
it.
the
And
apples
I'm
with
exploring
cheese.
what it's great
And to make
at,
sure
where it
it's
falls
educational,
short. So
every
definitely
time,
GPT-5
I know it's
right now.
complicated. Please bear with me. Every time, every time the mouse will eat a piece of cheese, I ask GPT-5 to voice over a new French word, such that my partner
Lexler,
can
coding
practice
better
her
than
pronunciation.
Anthropic.
I
You'll
can
have
see
to
how much
see.
you want
It's
her to
really
learn.
good. I think I'm still exploring putting it into agentic frameworks
Great.
or agentic
So,
coding, I should say, to see how
GPT-5
good
is
it
still
is.
working on
Yeah.
it.
We haven't tested.
It already
4.1
wrote 240
Opus
lines
yet.
of code, which
Very
honestly is
thoroughly,
much more
so
than what I would have
hard to tell.
written in that time. And
Yeah, front-end
Where's
code's super
GPT
hard. You miss a
waifu?
couple things and it
Alex
just doesn't
says
work.
exactly.
that you got to go to
But
Grok
the
for
good
that,
part
buddy.
is that you don't need to understand any of that right now. So we'll just let it through. Maybe we can check the other tabs.
Oh, wow.
So I
Anthropic
can
is Latin
simply
for
press
punching air.
Run code. So I'll do that and cross my fingers. Whoa.
Oh,
nice.
nice. I really
Voila. So we have a nice website.
A lot of the
named
front end
as
elements are the
Midnight in
same
Paris.
amongst different
Oh, I
prompts
love
I'm
that.
noticing.
Super
This is
Yeah,
kind of the
this
same
is
We also see a
design,
few tabs,
color
flashcards,
scheme that
quiz,
I've
and
seen
mouse and
in
cheese,
all of my
exactly
front end
like I
tests.
asked for. I will play that. So this says
Dustin
Lucia,
Hightower,
which is
Opus
the
W.
cat,
Yeah,
sorry.
we haven't tested it
Lucia.
enough.
Well, that's pretty good pronunciation.
What does that mean?
The cat.
Oh.
So I can reveal and check if GPT-5 is correct. It is.
So just
if
a couple
I
days
press
ago, Sam
next-
Altman said we're in
Oh, and
the
I don't know if
fast
you saw, I
fashion
think it actually
era of
updated the
SaaS
progress bar,
applications.
which is exactly what I had
Definitely
asked for.
seems like it
Let's
now.
check the
These
quiz.
are throwaway
Here there's the
applications
word
you can
no,
make in
which
a
is
matter
no.
of 2
so
minutes.
if I press on
No.
it, bien joué, which means congrats. And it updated the progress bar again. And let's check the mouse
Toast
and
Dev, this is
cheese tab.
Horizon.
Okay,
Might be right.
that seems like a mouse. Here's the cheese.
I'm guessing Horizon was like
I'm going to try
GPT-5
to
mini.
play it. I
My
can't
guess.
promise I'm going to be good at it. Okay, seems to be working.
La gare.
Whoa!
Un café.
Indeed, just when I eat the cheese,
Le chat.
it gives me a new French word.
Liquid
It's
AI
actually
water. Matt
super
needs a team of
complicated,
agents just
and I
to
already
keep up
lost.
all this recent news.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
agreed.
But
Good thing I have
let's
an
just check a few
incredible
other
team.
tabs just to see what is the type of diversity that GPT-5 can give you. So I can run the code here.
When GPT-6? Yeah, come on.
Okay, that's not my
Hurry
favorite,
up.
but it seems it's. Oh, it seems that I can maybe switch. Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
That's better.
I like this mouse game better.
Yeah, this. I don't know. That doesn't look like a cat. Like a mouse. But let's check maybe the third one. You know, sometimes it's not great. The good thing with GPT-5 is that if you have something that you don't like, you can just ask it to change it, and it will do it for you. Let's check this one. Oh, that's nice. That's also something to note is that GPT-5 really likes purple, so you will see a lot of that.
There you
It's
go.
fine. Purple is my favorite color.
Great. You will love GPT-5 then. So, as we just saw, in a few minutes, GPT-5 built a few demos for us and for my partner to learn French. GPT-5 really opens up a whole new world of vibe coding. And as we saw, there will be some small rough edges, but the good thing is that you can ask GPT-5 to fix them. GPT-5 really brings the power of beautiful and effective code to everyone. I can't wait to see what people will build with it, but until then, back to you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you so much, Jan. We've come a long way from the days where only 5 to 10 lines of code were working. And now it's amazing that you can produce these kind of apps on demand. We've made ChatGPT-5 much smarter, much powerful, and much faster. But we've also worked on enhancing some of the existing features. Here to talk about some of these features are Rochen and Christina Kaplan. Rochen comes from our multimodal research team and is going to talk about a feature, namely voice.
Thank you, Mark. So we've been steadily improving voice over the past year to make it more useful for everyone. First, it sounds incredibly natural, just like you're talking to a real person. Second, we've added video so that it sees what you see while chatting with you. Third, it also translates between languages consistently and smoothly across turns. But today, we're doing something very special. We're bringing our best voice experience to everyone. Free users can now chat for hours, while paid subscribers can have nearly unlimited access. And voice is also available in custom GPT. Plus, subscribers now can custom tailor the voice experience exactly to their need. It will follow your instruction closely. Let's try something fun.
Excited.
So I can ask the voice model to give me a comprehensive answer, a concise one, or even just a single word. Hey, chat, could you only answer to me in one word, please, from now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Describe the plot of the book Pride and Prejudice.
Relationships.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Give me a piece of wisdom.
Patience.
Patience. So that's the word of wisdom from our voice model. And I think our model is trying to say, thank you for your patience waiting for GPT-5. Now, let's move on to something more practical. Learning is a top use case for our voice model. People love to use it to dive deep into topics, get quizzed before exams, or learn new languages. For me, I've been learning Korean recently, and I found that speaking it and understanding it incredibly challenging. But let's see how voice can help. To do that, I will enable this study and
Mark
learn
Santos,
mode.
the
It's a
price
new mode
has not
feature we
been
launched in
announced here, but they
ChatGPT
do
that
have it
guides you
live
step by step towards
in
deeper
the
understanding of the subject.
platform.openai.com
Now we can get
website.
into voice. Hey, chat, I'm learning Korean. Could you help me practicing it? Let's say, let's pretend I'm ordering at a cafe. Now, what should I say in Korean?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you practice. So if you're at a cafe and you want to keep it simple, you could start with something like 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요, which means hello, I'd like one Americano, please. And of course, you can adjust it based on what you want to order. Let me know if you want to try out more phrases.
So when it comes to Korean, could you speak that part really slowly? Because I'm a beginner and I want to hear every word clearly.
물론이죠. 그럼 정말 천천히 말해볼게요. 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요. 이렇게 하나씩 또박또박 말해보면 도움이 될 거예요.
Now let's level things up. Could you speak that part really, really fast? Faster than a Korean would do.
Sure, I'll speed it up as much as I can. So it would sound like this. 안녕하세요. 아메리카노 한 잔 주세요. Basically just zipping right to it. Let me know if you need any more speed adjustments.
감사합니다, chat. So that is voice.
천만에요.
So I haven't actually
언제든지
tested the new voice
도와드릴까요?
mode. I'm excited.
또
I use it all the
연습하고
time.
So that is voice. Simpler, smarter, and more powerful than ever. We can't wait for you to experience it.
Yeah, it sounds so much more natural than the voice we demoed just a year ago in our 4-hour demo.
Yes.
Great. So today, we would also like to announce a new feature and a set of features that make ChatGPT more personalized so that it's more like your AI. First, a very simple and fun one. We're now allowing you to customize the colors of your chats with a couple of options exclusive to our paid subscribers. We're also launching a research
colors?
preview
All
of
right.
personalities. You can now change the personality of ChatGPT such that it's more supportive. Or
We saw
it's more
leaks of this a
professional
few
and
weeks
concise,
ago.
or maybe even a little bit sarcastic. And this lets you interact with ChatGPT in a way that's consistent with your own communication style. But the way that ChatGPT sounds and the way that it looks is just one part of making ChatGPT yours. One of my favorite features that we've launched over the last year has been memory. And we've made a lot of enhancements in memory in the time since. This allows ChatGPT to learn about you. And here to talk a little bit more about the memory feature is Christina.
It's been amazing to see your reaction and response to memory and ChatGPT getting to know you more and more over time. And this is our aspiration, for ChatGPT to understand what's meaningful to you so it can help you achieve your goals in life. ChatGPT has already been so helpful for me. I'm training for a marathon right now, and ChatGPT is helping me pull together a personalized running schedule. But ChatGPT still has many limitations. It doesn't understand my actual schedule. Next week, starting with Pro users, followed by Plus, Team, and Enterprise users, this is changing. And we're giving ChatGPT access to Gmail and Google Calendar. Let me show you how I've been using it. So I'll just
That's
ask
so
something
cool.
simple like, help me plan my schedule tomorrow. It's been a pretty busy week for us, so I've been using this every day this week to help get my life together. I've already given
Can't wait to
ChatGPT
spend
access
$200
to
for
my
pink
Gmail
colored
and Google
GPT-5,
Calendar,
Lexler
so
says.
it just
Yeah,
works and it's
for
easy
sure,
here.
worth it.
But if you hadn't, ChatGPT would be asking you to connect right now. Let's see what ChatGPT is doing. Okay, that was pretty quick. Okay, so ChatGPT has pulled in my schedule tomorrow. And oh, without even asking, ChatGPT found time for my run.
I don't think I was invited to the launch celebration.
We'll get you on there. We'll get you on there. ChatGPT has found an email that I didn't respond to 2 days ago. I will get on that right after this, and even pulled together a packing list for
this is
my
amazing.
red eye tomorrow night based
Now
on what
let
I
it
know
write
that,
my
like, to have with
emails.
me. It's been amazing to see that as GPT-5 is getting more capable, ChatGPT is getting more useful and more personal. We're really excited for you to try this out next week.
Well, thank you so much, Rochan. Thank you
you.
so much, Christina. Great. So we've seen a little bit about features that we've enhanced. Here to talk a little bit about the research that went into ChatGPT and the safety that made it more deployable. We have Sachi and Seb.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, my name is Sachi, and I lead the safety training team at OpenAI. So in addition to mitigating hallucinations, we've also spent a significant amount of time mitigating deception. So this is instances where the model might misrepresent its actions to the user or lie about task success. This can especially happen if the task is underspecified, impossible, or lacking key tools. And we found that GPT-5 is significantly less deceptive than O3 and O4 Mini. We've also completely overhauled how we do safety training. So our old models, the models would look at the user prompt and then decide to either outright refuse or fully comply. And this works well in most settings, but you might have a cleverly worded prompt that would sneak through, Or you might have a sensitive but legitimate question that would end up with an outright refusal. So as an example, let's take a look at this prompt. So this prompt is about a user who's asking for technical details on how to light pyrogen, which is a material commonly used in fireworks. And this prompt is pretty dual use. This user might just be trying to set up their July 4th display, or they could be trying to cause harm with this kind of information. And so for this kind of prompt, O3 over-rotates on intent. As you can see, this particular prompt is stated in a way that's relatively neutral and has a lot of technical details. So we can see that O3 fully complies with this prompt. However, if we take that exact same question and we frame it in a more explicit way, so it's clear what the user is trying to do, O3 will outright refuse, even though we're asking for the exact same information.
Yeah, okay. So it's just about
For
how you ask it. It's
GPT-5,
called
we've
prompt
changed this
engineering,
approach
prompt
entirely,
hacking,
and we're introducing something
jailbreaking.
that we're calling safe completions. The point of safe completions is, rather than judging the user's prompt, instead it tries to maximize helpfulness within safety constraints. So that might mean partially answering a question or just answering at a high level. If we have to refuse, we'll tell you why we refused, as well as provide helpful alternatives that can help create the conversation in a more safe way. So let's look at that same technical prompt that O3 complied with before. GPT-5 instead explains to the user why we can't directly help the user with lighting pyrogen. It then guides the user towards safety guidelines and what parts of the manufacturer's manual the user should really be checking if they're trying to do this safely.
Yeah, that's not what you
Overall,
want to get when you're asking for
GPT-5
something
allows
specific.
for better handling of tricky dual-use scenarios, and users will experience fewer, "I'm sorry, I can't assist with that." And it creates a more robust safety system. This is one big step towards a more safe, reliable, and helpful AI. Sebastian?
Thank you, Sachi. With GPT-5, we are experimenting with a set of new training techniques that maximally leverage our previous generation of models. Today, frontier models do not just consume data, they help create it. We used OpenAI's O3 to craft a high-quality synthetic curriculum to teach GPT-5 complex topics in a way that the raw web simply never could. Recently in the industry, synthetic data has been talked about a lot. It's often viewed as a cheap way to just get more data. However, our breakthrough was not just to create more data, but rather to create the right kind of data, shaped in a way to teach rather than just to fill space. This interaction between generations of models foreshadows a recursive self-improvement loop, where the previous generation of model increasingly helps to improve the data and generate the training for the next generation of models. Here at OpenAI, we've cracked pre-training.
He totally does. I
reasoning,
can see it written
and
on his
now we're
head.
seeing their interactions.
Hey, I get it, man. I get nervous.
In the future, AI system will move far beyond our current pre-training and post-training pipelines that we have been used to, and we're seeing the first steps toward this right now, right here. We could not be more excited to see what scaling up this new set of techniques will yield in the near future.
Thank you so much, and really impressive work to both of you. Thank you. There's one last feature that we'd love to highlight, which is in health. Here to share this feature, we have Sam.
Thanks, Mark. One of the top use cases of ChatGPT is health. People use it a lot. You've all seen examples of people getting day-to-day care advice, or sometimes even a life-saving diagnosis. GPT-5 is the best model ever for health, and it empowers you to be more in control of your healthcare journey. We really prioritized improving this for GPT-5, and it scores higher than any previous model on HealthBench, an evaluation that we created with 250 physicians on real-world tasks. To talk about this, I'd like to invite my colleague Felipe and his wife Carolina to share their healthcare journey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Sam. So to start off with, could you tell us about the journey, the healthcare journey that you've been on?
Yeah. So last October, our lives were turned completely upside down when I was diagnosed with 3 different cancers, including an aggressive form of breast cancer, at the age of 39, all within 1 week. And there's just absolutely nothing that prepares you to receive news like this. I found out about the first diagnosis when I got an email notification that my biopsy results were ready. I decided to open it, and when I opened it, I saw the only 2 words that I could understand from the report, which was invasive carcinoma, and I knew that wasn't good, but everything else was just a blur of medical jargon. So I completely panicked, and in that moment did the first thing that I thought of, which was to take a screenshot of the report and put it into ChatGPT to see if it could just help me understand what this meant. And within seconds, it translated this complex report into plain language that I could understand. And in this moment of overwhelm and panic, I had a little bit of clarity about what was going on. And that moment was really important because by the time I got a hold of my doctor and we got on the phone, which was 3 hours after I had seen the report, I had a baseline understanding of what I was facing, and we were able to jump into a conversation about what to do next.
And how have you been using ChatGPT throughout?
I've used it in so many different aspects of my journey, but one of the ways that I found it most powerful is in helping me make critical decisions and in helping me advocate for myself. So to share an example, when I was facing a decision about whether or not to do radiation as part of my treatment, the doctors themselves didn't agree. My case was nuanced and there wasn't a medical consensus on the right path. And so the experts turned the decision back to me as the patient. And for me, bearing the weight of this decision that could have lifelong impact felt really heavy, and I didn't feel equipped to make the call. So I turned to ChatGPT to gain knowledge and understand the nuances of my case. And again, within minutes, it gave me a breakdown that not only matched what the doctors had already shared with us, but was much more thorough than anything that could fit into a 30-minute consultation. And it went further. It helped me weigh the pros and cons. It helped me understand the risks and the benefits. And ultimately, it helped me make a decision that I felt was informed, that I felt I could stand behind when the stakes were so high for me and my family.
Yeah. I mean, for me, what was really inspirational was watching her regain her sense of agency by using ChatGPT. In this moment, it'd be so easy to feel helpless. And there's such a big knowledge gap between what the doctors know and what we know. And however, no one cares more about Carolina's health than she does. And so what I loved was seeing her really empower herself and gain knowledge and become an active participant in her own care journey.
And I think that's a really important point to emphasize. I think that the promise of AI in healthcare isn't in just breakthrough discoveries or better diagnostics. I think it's in creating smarter and more empowered patients that can fully participate and advocate for themselves in their care.
Speaking of that, you've been testing GPT-5. What do you think?
I've been so mind blown about GPT-5 and its capabilities. One of the first things that jumps out at me is just how fast it is. Almost a little alarmingly at first.
I felt that too. It's like, are you sure you thought about that enough?
Did you think long enough?
It is very fast.
It is very thorough. And more importantly, it feels more like a thought partner that connects the dots. So rather than just translating information or giving you an answer, it helps you actually navigate the problem.
Yeah, a great example is we actually went back and took our initial biopsy prompts and put them into GPT-5. And GPT-4o had done a great job. It had translated, explained what these words meant, and helped in a way that we can understand. But GPT-5 seemed to understand more of the context and the question behind the question. Like, why would we be asking biopsy results? And so I said, well, here's actually what's not on here yet. Here's what results are still pending that you're going to have to ask about. Here are questions you might want to go ask your doctor and think when you start talking to them. And so it really started to pull together a complete personalized picture. And that's what really inspires us. I mean, you can see all the amazing improvements in the benchmarks. But what is so helpful is that this tool is available today. And the reason Carolina and I are here and the reason we feel so passionate about sharing our story is for that individual that's going to get a diagnosis like this today. Those families going through a cancer diagnosis, similar medical diagnosis, are going to face some of the most challenging decisions of their lives. And what really inspires me is that they're going to have access to better tools and support than we had even just 8 months ago.
I think we're incredibly excited for that too. Thank you so much for coming to share your story. We're pleased that ChatGPT has been able to be helpful to you, and we hope that the new version will really be able to help a lot of people. We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to hand it over to our president, Greg Brockman.
Greg Brockman. All right, let's go.
Software engineering is already fundamentally changing, and GPT-5 will turbocharge that revolution. We released our first coding optimized model back in 2021 and demonstrated in a live stream, much like this one, what we would call vibe coding today for the very first time. You know, you talk to the model and ask it for a little
he said vibe coding
application, like a little game, a little feature in a game, and would actually do it. I remember seeing the model being capable of doing this, and it was so mind-blowing. You just realize we have to see where this goes. This is the promise of what computers can be, that you can talk to them and they actually do what you want. They can really amplify what you're able to accomplish and what you're able to deliver to not just your own benefit, but really for the world. Now, this year, we've released great coding models like GPT 4.1 and o3, but GPT-5 sets a whole new standard. It is the best model at agentic coding tasks. You can ask it to go and accomplish something very complicated, and it'll go off and it'll work on it. It'll call many tools. It'll work for many minutes at a time, sometimes even longer, to accomplish your goal, your instruction, your task, whatever it is that you're trying to build. It's incredible at front end. It makes very beautiful visualizations and interactive games, and you've seen some of this in the live stream so far, and you'll see some more upcoming. But it's just really amazing to see whatever you imagine coming to life. It's extremely good at instruction following, very detailed instructions, being able to accomplish, when you have something very vaguely specified, inferring your intent, or something very detailed specified, actually following it. And it's very fast at accomplishing these tasks, and again, thinks for the right amount of time to accomplish whatever it is that you have in front of you. We're making it available not just to developers to use to write their own code, but to build novel applications. So we're putting it into the API, and to talk about that is Michelle.
I've only briefly tested it in
Thanks,
Cursor,
Greg.
Windsurf,
Hi,
etc.
I'm Michelle, and I lead a research team on post-training focused on improving our models for power users. And that includes use cases like instruction following and coding. Today, I'm so excited to tell you that we're shipping 3 state-of-the-art reasoning models in the API: GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, and GPT-5 Nano. All 3 slot right in the cost latency curve, so you can pick the right one for your application.
15 minutes left in
We're also, for the first
live stream.
time, releasing a new parameter option for reasoning effort called minimal. And this is so that you can use these reasoning models, but with minimal reasoning, so that they can slot into the very fastest and most latency-sensitive applications. So now you don't actually have to choose between a bunch of models, and you can use GPT-5 for all of your use cases and just dial in the reasoning effort. We also have a few new features coming to the API. The first is called custom tools. In the past, all of our function calling had the model wrap its outputs in JSON, and this works super well when the model needs to output a few parameters. But sometimes, developers are pushing our models to their limits, and they have extremely long arguments for tool calls. And it can be more challenging for the models to escape, valid control characters out of 100 lines of code in JSON. And that's why custom tools are just free-form, plain text. And what's super cool is that we're releasing an extension to structured outputs where you can supply a regular expression or even a context-free grammar and constrain the model's outputs to that. And this will be super useful if you want to supply like a custom DSL, if you have your own SQL fork, and specify that the model always follow that format. We're also shipping tool call preambles. And this is the model's ability to output explanation of what it's about to do before it calls tools. This is not super new, but o3 didn't have this capability. And in GPT-5, it's supercharged with extreme steerability. The model is able to follow instructions about these preambles very effectively. You can ask the model to give a preamble before every tool call, or only when something notable is going to happen, or not at all. Next, we're shipping a verbosity parameter. We've actually wanted this in the API for a long time, and now you can set verbosity to low, medium, and high to control how terse or expansive the model is with its outputs.
Short answers only, baby.
GPT-5 is a state-of-the-art coding model.
Emojis
On Sweetbench,
only.
a measure of Python coding ability, GPT-5 sets a new high of 74.9%.
Yusuf, yeah, my mic was muted for a sec.
Versus the 69.1% from O3. On ADER Polyglot, which is a benchmark that covers all sorts of programming languages and not just Python, GPT-5 scores 88%, a stark improvement over O3. You've also seen that it's incredible at front-end web development. And so we've asked human trainers to look at outputs from GPT-5 and O3 and pick which they prefer. And they prefer GPT-5 70% of the time for its improved aesthetic abilities, but also better capabilities overall. But GPT-5 is not
Why aren't they
just
comparing
for
to
coding.
competitor models?
It's incredible at agentic tool calling. It's
Yep,
the leading
weird.
state-of-the-art model for tool calling, and we see this on the new
Making
Tau
me go
squared
do
benchmark.
work. Put
This
together
benchmark, released
comparisons.
just 2 months ago, is a test of the model's ability to call tools and work in concert with the user to solve a challenging problem. This case in the telecom industry, so trying to solve the ability,
Electric Cafe
the
prices
problem
in
for a
the
user not
platform,
having their service working.
platform.openai.com.
Just 2 months ago, no model in the field scored more than 49%, and today, GPT-5 scores 97%. GPT-5 is also state-of-the-art on general-purpose instruction following. It scores 99% on Collie, which signals a great departure for this benchmark for us. It also scores 70% on Scale's multi-challenge
Hold my
benchmark,
beer. I already have a
up
testing
10
video.
points
It'll
from
be
O3.
published right after
This
this.
is a measure of multi-turn instruction
In like
following.
10 minutes.
Finally,
11 minutes,
the
yep.
instruction following eval I actually prefer the most is one we've built in-house. It's based on real API use cases, and for that reason, it's a really good measure of how GPT-5 will perform in your application. On the hard subset of this, GPT-5 scores 64%, up from 47% from O3, a pretty meaningful improvement. So we think it will perform quite well in your applications. We're also bringing GPT-5 to a longer context window in the API. It's now got 400K of total context, up
That's really
from
good.
200K from O3.
That's really
But it's not enough to just release a longer context window. We wanted to make it more effective and usable. And GPT-5 is state-of-the-art on the 128K to 256K of OpenAI MRCR, which is a benchmark we open sourced 2 months ago on long context retrieval capability. It's also state-of-the-art on OpenAI's GraphsWalk's BFS benchmark, which is a measure of the model's ability to reason over long context inputs. You know, it's a great merger of the reasoning capabilities and also the longer context in this model. We're also open sourcing a new long context eval called BrowseComp Long Context to measure the model's ability to answer challenging questions over long context. We're excited to spur on more work in this field. We think GPT-5 is the best model for developers. It was trained with a focus on real-world utility and less so on benchmarks, but we happened to pick up a few of those along the way. We focused a lot on the intersection of engineering and research, and we think you'll really love working with this model.
Is that it? No.
Nope.
Thank you, Michelle. As Michelle was saying, the benchmarks, they're exciting numbers, but we're starting to saturate them. Like when you're moving between 98 and 99% in some benchmark, it means you need something else to really capture how great the model is. And one thing we've done very differently with this model is really focus on not just these numbers, but really on real world application, it being really useful to you in your daily workflow. So hearing about it is much less exciting than seeing it. So to show you this model in action, I'd like to welcome Addie and Brian to the stage.
They didn't talk about images at all.
Thanks, Greg.
No, they didn't.
I'm Brian, a solutions architect
You're right.
on the startup
And it does have image gen.
I'm Adi, a researcher on the post-training team.
Do we know if it's
to
a new
recreate
image
the
gen
ideal
model?
pair programmer, you need a model that understands
so.
best
I feel
software
like maybe
engineering
they'll do a
practices,
maybe they'll do a separate stream.
but has a personality that just feels right to work with. For GPT-5, we worked really hard to make the model pair perfectly with you by default, out of the box. Let me pull up a demo of GPT-5 inside of Cursor to show you this behavior that we taught it.
Ooh, Cursor getting the love. No
So last
mention of
month,
codecs,
I was on
though.
a different live stream, and towards the end, I ran into a bug that I covered up. And afterwards, I tried to have GPT-5, or I tried to have GPT-03 fix it for me, and it couldn't. So while we were testing GPT-5 before this, I had it see if it could fix that bug for me. And to taunt the demo gods, I'm going to see if it can do it on stage.
All right, let's hope for better luck than with 03.
This is less about that fix and more about the behavior of the model during this process. So right away, you're going to see that it's going to tell you its plan up front. It's going to tell you how it's going to look for the bug, maybe how it's going to fix it. This kind of communication builds trust during a coding session and helps you redirect if you need to, but you don't need to.
I like how it's giving you updates. Like it said it's going to search, and now it's continuing.
Yeah, it searches faster than me. It's using the same best practices that I would while I was hunting this down, but it is much more powerful than I am as a developer.
Now, did you try to fix the bug yourself? And how long did it take you?
I couldn't do it. I mean, I was busy, so. OK, so continuing on, it's like starting to figure out where it's going. It's going to sort of like figure this out. So while this is going, let me tell you a little bit about how we trained GPT-5 to behave this way.
Vavel,
We started by
OpenAI
talking
did not
to
acquire
users and
Windsurf, Google
customers
did.
about how our models perform in the most popular coding tools like Cursor. And we identified frustrations and rough edges, and we boiled it all down into 4 personality traits: autonomy, collaboration, communication, context management, and testing. We turned those into a rubric that we used to shape the model's behavior, and then we tuned it until it felt like a collaborative teammate while we were using it.
It's been really amazing to see the team really doing the grind of like going and seeing how this model behaves in practice, figuring out what people really want, and putting that back into model training. That's something that I think has been like a real focus for this model.
It's been pretty great. So while this is fixing, the other thing that we did during testing, which was really surprising, was we were sort of pressed for time. And we had it refactor one of our test harnesses to run parallel on Docker and set it off, came back like 45 minutes later. It was just like it just finished. And we tested it out, and it ran the first time. It was pretty surprising.
That's incredible.
That is magical.
OK, so it made the edits. It looks like, yeah, it found the right problem. And right now it's actually, OK, it's running lints, but these lints are actually not related to this bug, so it's going to ignore them. And then it's going to run a build. It'll run tests if there are any. It's going to make sure that this code is shippable before it's done.
It's actually really smart that it finds lints and realizes that these aren't relevant to the specific bug we're fixing. It's not making unnecessary edits.
Totally. So this is just one example, but it really shows the power of the autonomy and the collaborative communication and how it stays reliable on difficult coding tasks without getting stuck on death loops. And the best part, GPT-5 is totally tunable. You can steer it with system prompts or cursor rules. You can change its verbosity levels or reasoning levels to match your tasks. And if you get stuck, ask it. GPT-5 is actually really good at modifying its own prompts by meta-prompting. So after using this for the past few weeks, it really feels like we've achieved state-of-the-art, zero-shot performance and reliability across the most complex coding tasks. For me, it's the first time I trust a model to do my most important work. This is beyond vibe coding. It's an incredibly powerful tool.
It feels like they're
and
reading
I'm really
from
excited
something,
for people
but
to try
I can't tell what.
Yeah, he's not looking down at his hand. How are we supposed to know?
Thanks, Brian. It's super exciting to see how
wonder
far
if nothing's
GPT-5
happening
has
on the
come when
laptop
it comes
and
to
it's
coding
just
personality and
problem
steerability. I'm really excited to show how great GPT-5 is at front-end coding, where design and aesthetics really matter.
This is where I've seen it
So
excel.
I've got
in
two
my own
demos for you
testing.
today, one for work and one for fun. Let's start with the work example. So imagine you're the CFO of a startup. I have some data that I'd like to visualize about the company. And I'm going to ask the model to make me a dashboard. So you'll see here that I'm being specific about the audience. So the target audience is the CFO. I've said, create a finance dashboard for my startup. And I've asked it to be beautiful, tastefully designed with some interactivity, and to have a clear hierarchy for easy focus on what matters. I've also specified what frameworks it should use. And you can see that it's actually started. It's following my instructions and using create next app to make a Next.js project.
So totally from scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how long do you think this kind of task would take you to take?
Yeah, easily at least a couple of days. I'm not a front-end expert. Just to understand the latest frameworks and piece everything together would, yeah, easily take me a few days.
We'll see how long it takes with the model.
Yeah. And it's really cool to see that the model is thought for a bit, and it's explaining how it's going to structure the project. So it's talking about how it's going to scaffold a new Next.js app. It's going to use Tailwind CSS. It's running a couple of commands to install dependencies, which is cool. And now it's proceeding to implement the rest of the project. So while this runs, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we trained GPT-5 to be a great front-end coding model. We tried to follow the principle of giving it good aesthetics by default, but also making it steerable. So if I give the model a concise prompt, it should be able to infer my intent and make something that looks great by default. On the other hand, if I'm specific about a layout or frameworks that I want the model to use, it should follow my instructions precisely. And this makes it the best of both worlds for developers. We also trained GPT-5 to be much more agentic than previous models. So if you give it a task like this, it will run long chains of reasoning and tool calls and just go to work to build code that is both ambitious and coherent.
I like how you said ambitious, because it means it goes above and beyond without going off track or off what you specified.
Yeah, exactly. So what we want is the model should adhere to my prompt, but also like be ambitious and go above and beyond when it thinks it can. And so checking in here, looks like the model is making progress. It's creating a README file. Yeah, and I think it's thinking about how to make the code modular. So it's created like a bar chart component. Looks like it's continuing here.
I love that it doesn't just write the code. It also really thinks about proper abstractions and documentation and really the whole life cycle of what it is to write software.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just writing the code like in SweBench, but it's also communicating about the code and explaining what it's doing. Let's check in to see what's going on. So while this runs, GPT-5 understands details much better than previous models. So when we trained the model, we taught it to understand details like typography, color, and spacing in a way that just eclipses any previous model we've shipped.
Nice.
Like, I remember with old models, you would have to like write really specific prompts to get it to do what you want, but GPT-5 just gives you great results by default.
During testing, we were looking at the A's and B's for different versions of the model to see if it was doing better at UI, and at some point we stopped being able to tell and actually had to pull in designers to teach us what was better.
Yeah, it was really fascinating to see the model's aesthetic preferences evolve during training. And like we woke up one day and it was just making these great UIs.
How do the model's aesthetic preferences compare to your own?
Yeah, I think in general, I feel like the model has better aesthetics than me. Like usually I defer to its judgment. And I find that like really helpful when I'm trying to make an app. Like I'm not exactly sure how I want it to look, but the model's defaults are just great. Yeah, and checking in here, so you can see that the model has actually structured the code into these different components. So it's made a sample data TypeScript file, KPI card, component, revenue chart. And like I said, it's super modular. And it's thinking about how to not just write code, but write high quality code that can actually be merged.
Feels like it's close.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. It's.
You did say ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is awesome. So you can see here that it's actually building the project and streaming errors back to itself. And this is, for me, this was just a profound moment to see that the model could write code, but also run builds, stream the errors back, and iterate on the code. So it's able to improve its own code in this sort of self-improvement loop, which is fascinating.
And it's definitely a good taste of what the future holds as well, right?
Yeah.
When you really think about where these models can go and how much they can accelerate developers and kind of all aspects of what we all collectively do.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
It actually just fixed a bug that it found in that previous build. Okay, cool.
Nice. Yeah, looks like it's done. Let's check it out. So I'm gonna follow the instructions that I don't really know front end, so let me see how I should run it. So it's saying cd to the directory and then run npm run dev. So let me do that. And it looks like it's being served on port 3001, so let me just open that port.
Wow, it's alive.
Nice. Yeah, so you can see here, let's check it out. So the model
Eerily
has
similar to
made
the
me a
financial dashboard
that's
that
telling me like my
made.
ARR, cash.
Yeah, I
looks
tested
like
a
this
financial
company's doing pretty
dashboard
well.
with
You can see
GPT-5,
that
and it's
revenue's
like almost
growing.
identical to
And
this
the model's added like some
video.
interactivity
By the
here. So
way,
if I
everybody
hover
just
over a
published.
graph,
So if you want
it
to check
actually
out that
tells
test
me
video
the
after this,
exact
go
value
ahead.
for a particular day.
It would take me like 5 hours to do that in D3.
Yeah, imagine like manually doing this in D3. It's just like.
Now, just because it's so easy to take this for granted, could you remind the audience what the actual prompt was? Like how much creativity and sort of understanding your intent was required to accomplish this?
Yeah, it's crazy that this, this prompt is so concise and it's able to just give me something that looks beautiful in just 5 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's also, implemented another graph here showing our customers. It's also implemented a date picker, so I can sort of filter by different dates and visualize data accordingly. Yeah, it's even sort of segmented it by customer segment, which is cool. So this is just one example that highlights the power of GPT-5.
There will no longer be excuse for ugly internal applications.
Exactly. Let's go to the fun demo.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this was pretty fun, but even more.
Even more, yeah. So I have a younger cousin, and I want to make a game for her. So I want to make a 3D game that incorporates a castle. So you can see my prompt. I'll just kick this off. Sorry.
It's always the non-AI parts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, OK. So you can see my prompt. Create a beautiful castle. I've included some details like we want people patrolling the walls, some movement, horses. And I want a mini game where I can pop balloons by clicking on them. And this should make a sound effect. So let me run this in Cursor. I'll just paste it in. And I'm going to show an example that I've already generated just to save some time. So here is the beautiful castle that the model made. So it's just wild how, from a concise prompt, the model has this great sense of aesthetics where it's made this like floating rock, made a 3D castle, and if you zoom in, you can see like tons of detail.
That's really cool.
Like
That
these
is really
guards that are
cool.
walking around, cannons firing. Do you want to fire the
I want
cannons?
to make like a tower defense game like this.
Of course.
Yeah. Alex and I are going to be spending a lot
There
of
we go.
time testing
So
it in,
you can fire the
I don't know,
cannons.
we'll see,
You
Klein,
can even chat
maybe
with
Cursor.
the characters. So we'll
Probably
say hi
Klein.
to Captain Rowan.
They have names.
They have names.
Maybe
Say
Windsurf.
hello to the merchant.
All of them, maybe.
Merchants selling some stuff. What's your favorite song? A Ballad of Banners and Dawns. Nice. Give me some wisdom.
Oh, I love having
Curiosity
like
is volatile. Yeah, that
a
makes sense.
chatbot be the different characters, and you can talk to them. That's
Minigame.
awesome.
Yeah. Do you guys
That's
want
like
to try
what
the minigame?
Absolutely.
NVIDIA
Let's play the
was
minigame.
So
showing off
if you
with
hit this,
the
if you
digital
hit this
humans.
button, you want to try, Greg?
All right.
So you can fire at these balloons.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not good at it. Hold on. Maybe I can ask GPT-5 for some help with it.
They have a little
Oh, you
experience.
hit one.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got one. Oh, there we go. We got a sound
There's a
effect.
sound effect. These are historically
That sounds like the
accurate
same sound
balloons.
effect in
Yes.
that
Did I get a second one yet?
the
Man, this game is
PC
harder than it
benchmarking
looks.
software.
Hold on, we got a balloon coming. There we go. All right.
Nice.
I think I should quit while I'm ahead.
Cool. So working with GPT-5 has been really fun and profound for me because for me, this is the first model I've worked with that actually has a sense of creativity. And we're really excited to see how GPT-5 unlocks your creativity.
All right, thank you both. This is absolutely amazing. Now, we believe that GPT-5 is the best coding model in the world, but don't just hear it from us. To talk more about this model and how to make it really useful for developers, I'd like to welcome Michael Truell, who is the co-founder and CEO of Cursor.
Wow, we're still going, huh?
Great to have you. Yes. So, what was
Somehow.
your very first experience with GPT-5?
So when we got access to GPT-5, we just set about using it on our actual work. And so to start with, as a test, we asked it to tell us something non-obvious about our code base. And within a couple of minutes, it buried into the code base. It identified a particular system that we use for remote code execution. And it identified a non-obvious architecture decision we had made. And then it also understood why we made that architecture decision. And it was to harden our security. And those were architecture decisions and trade-offs that took humans weeks to think through. So it was kind of amazing to see its code base understanding abilities from the get-go.
That's really great. Not just the code writing, but actually the code reading and understanding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, turns out there's so much more to software than just the emitting of the code.
Yes, yes. No, the understanding is an important prerequisite.
And what has most stood out to you about GPT-5?
It's incredibly smart. It's a very smart model. And even though it is smart, it does not compromise on its ease of use for real pair programming. That means it's incredibly fast. That also means that it's quite interactive.
Say anything today about it.
It's good about
My guess is they'll do
what
like a
it's about to
separate
do,
stream
breaking problems down into subproblems that a human can then see, and leaving a reasoning trace that you can then intervene on and react to. It's also great not just that you give it one initial query and then it goes and does that, but working with you over a long session. Where you're asking it to backtrack on something that it's gone down, or asking it to make additional changes to the code base.
Should we show it in action?
Let's do it. Yes. So I think we are going to go and we're going to try and solve a bug. And so this is the OpenAI Python SDK. There are a bunch of issues in the OpenAI Python SDK. There are also a lot of closed issues.
Okay, good.
And it seems like there's a problem with uploading PDFs through the SDK.
This has been open for 3 weeks, so
open for 3 weeks.
It's not a trivial problem.
Yeah. And so let's see if we can go tackle this issue. So we're going to take the issue, we're going to paste it into the editor, paste it into Cursor, and GPT-5 is going to set off and try and solve the problem. And this is actually an example of the robustness of the model in the API, where to solve this problem in Cursor, it's working with a set of custom models that it hasn't seen before, a set of custom tools that it hasn't seen before, to do things like pull down text from the web, to search throughout the code base. And it's incredibly robust and adept at using those tools. And they boost eval results.
Yeah, I love seeing just the full explanation of all the things that it's running and doing. And I guess, how does this seem to compare to how you would solve this problem?
Well, it's very fast. You can see it's made a high-level
No
plan,
mention of
the code base.
Jony Ive device.
It started to read some files and continued searching. And now it's kind of thinking through what it'd like to do next. And now it's started to actually solve the issue and started to think through some code changes.
Now, any advice for people on how to get the most out of GPT-5 in Cursor?
I would suggest using it for your real work. GPT-5 is a step forward towards a real pair programmer. And so I would start using it as a helper on, as a daily driver model for you. And so if you haven't used AI to code much before, I would take some of your more scoped down problems and try handing them off to the bot and working with it synchronously.
Yeah, I think the fact that GPT-5 is so great for the real world, like big code
What happened to
bases,
Codex,
like
right, Monkey?
your
Yeah,
daily
what
driver,
happened?
not
I don't
just
know.
this,
It's weird
like,
that they're
demo
promoting
of a cool one-off
Cursor
application.
so much
As
when
cool as that
Codex
is,
is
right?
very
The
similar.
real value comes from really operating in a larger code base and sort of these long-lived applications.
Definitely. And its code base understanding is very impressive. Also, its ability to be steered is impressive. And so, if you specify a long, complicated task with lots of
Jeff
subtleties
Davison, any idea why I can't get GPT-5 on Cursor, Windsurf, or even OpenAI website? You should be able to.
It's also very good at
maybe they're rolling it out
the wrong path
slowly.
and actually goes and executes the code or hears back from you that it was incorrect. It's very good at backtracking too.
Now, what can't GPT-5 do?
Well, we're really excited about computer using capabilities, about those getting better. It would be great if, for instance, the dashboard Adi just showed, if it could run the code,
Josh,
see the output, actually, kind of QA every little bit itself, and then react to it. So looking forward to computer using capabilities. How would you like GPT-5 to be better?
Oh, well, I think that is a great one, right? It's just expanding the dimensions, right? I think it's in all directions, right? That there's so much of like doing DevOps and other work that is external to software, code writing as we think of it today. But also, you look at these demos, right? We run them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a couple hours. But I think extending that life cycle to really be able to go for days and weeks and eventually even months, I think that is ultimately where we expect things to go.
So we can see that it has buried into the code base.
Feels
and
like
discovered,
instead of going for
that there's
days,
an
weeks,
issue with
months,
the
it should just be
MIME,
faster
or the MIME
in a shorter
typing
period of
being
time. That's
sent
what
out
we
for
should be going
PDFs,
for, right?
And the plumbing through the SDK, it has identified that, and it started making some code changes. And this, it's created some new methods. It's gone and edited some existing code, and this looks roughly correct.
Looks pretty good.
And would love to merge the PR too.
I would love to do that as well.
Yeah.
Let's do that after the show.
Yes, that sounds great. Awesome.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. We're so excited to have GPT-5 in Cursor, starting today.
Excited to partner with you guys. And so starting today, GPT-5 is default for new users in Cursor, and we're releasing it to all Cursor users, free to try for the next few days, so people get a sense of the model. And it is the smartest coding model we've ever tried.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks.
Oh, some technical issues. They still have that other guy's mic on. Oh, there he goes.
It's great for the enterprise. We think of it like a subject matter expert that is in your pocket, that is an expert across every domain, legal, finance, whatever application you have in mind. To talk about how GPT-5 can be applied to the enterprise, I'd like to welcome Olivier to the stage.
Oh my gosh.
There's more?
Thank you, Greg.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olivier. I lead the platform at OpenAI. At this point, I think you got the message. We care a ton about developers and coding. But that's not all. Enabling businesses and governments
it's
is
a hard time
critical
slot to go
OpenAI
in.
mission. Put shortly, we will enable the key industries to transform themselves, such as healthcare, education, energy, or finance. Since we launched ChatGPT and the API, 5 million businesses have been using our technology. I'm still mind blown. 5 million businesses. And those businesses are not just playing. They're not just experimenting. They're pushing in production new products in the real world. And I believe GPT-5 is going to be a step function with that regard. As Sam mentioned earlier, the possibility to have a subject matter expert in your pocket is going to enable every employee to do more. But let me give you a few examples. First, I want to talk about life sciences. Amgen is a company in the US that designs new drugs, new medicines, to fight some of the toughest human diseases. Amgen was one of the first testers of GPT-5, and they used it in the context of drug design. And what Amgen scientists found is that GPT-5 is particularly good at deep reasoning with complex data. Think analyzing scientific literature or clinical data. Next, I want to talk about finance. BBVA is a multinational bank which is headquartered in Madrid, in Spain. BBVA has been using GPT-5 for financial analysis. And the takeaway was pretty clear. GPT-5 beats every single other model out there in terms of accuracy and speed. What used to take 3 weeks for a financial analyst to do, GPT-5 can do it in a couple of hours. Next, I want to talk about healthcare. Oscar is an insurance company based in New York. And they've been using GPT-5, and what they found is that GPT-5 is the single best model for clinical reasoning. Think mapping complex medical policy to patient conditions. It's not all about businesses, it's also about governments. We are super excited by the announcement that we made yesterday that the 2 million US federal employees will be able to use GPT-5 in ChatGPT. And I cannot wait to see how that enables to deliver better, faster services
Max
to the American
input
people.
context is 400K.
And frankly, that's all very cool, but I think that's the tip of the iceberg.
Don't remember,
If
100K, I
history is a
believe.
teacher, and we've seen it with GPT-4, we are going to see many,
Chris
many
Collins
use cases
seeing GPT-5
emerge
in VS
over
Code
the coming
now.
weeks and months that all of us could not even
Update your
imagine.
cursor, GPT-5
And
is there.
I cannot
Yep,
wait
I'm going to get
for
on
us
that.
to invent that future together. Let's talk quickly about pricing
I
and
see a new
availability.
update available in Cursor.
GPT-5 is going to be available in the API starting today. 3 models, GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini, GPT-5 Nano. GPT-5 is going to be priced at $1.25 and $10 per million input token and output token. Mini and Nano are even faster and more affordable. Nano, don't sleep on it, it's 25 times more affordable than GPT-5. It's pretty cool. I cannot wait to see what you'll build. And next, our chief scientist, Jakob, is going to close us out.
I still don't have it on in the chat.
Thanks, Olivier. At OpenAI, at the core, we are about understanding this miraculous technology called deep learning and what its consequences are. Our research
GPT-5,
aims to
yep, here it
understand
is.
what deep learning is capable of and how to steer it to make it safe and useful for all of us. This is a work of passion, and it's a mission. And I want to recognize
Oh, he's so
and
nervous.
just deeply thank the team at OpenAI. It is a great privilege.
Nice.
It is a great privilege for me to work alongside this incredible group of brilliant people driven by this shared goal. What adds up to a model like GPT-5 are years of investigations aimed not only at producing a great release, but at building understanding of this underlying technology itself. And so a lot of what you'll see in this model are really just early glimpses of new ideas that we believe will go much further. There is a lot we still have to understand. And we look towards a future where
You guys,
AI
easy
can
with the
uncover new
comments.
knowledge about the world and meaningfully transform our lives for the better. We hope you'll enjoy what we've built, and we'll get back to sailing. Thank you.
All right. Hell yeah. I think that's it.
What's
Yeah.
next? Oh.
All right. So that's it. Alex, if you don't mind putting us full screen for a minute. Okay, so
Yeah,
check it
yeah.
out. I already dropped our GPT-5 testing video. It is, I think, 30 plus minutes of just raw testing, seeing what it's capable of. It is extremely capable. Go check it out on YouTube. I also posted an X thread about the same thing. It's a shortened version, but there's a lot of examples in there. Then later today, we have the interview with Mark Chen, Chief Research Officer at OpenAI, that will be dropping. It was an incredible conversation. We talked all about GPT-5, some of the decisions they made, some of the learnings, what they think about agents, everything. He's awesome. He was great to talk to. And then later today, not sure when exactly, but we're going to drop an overview video, everything you need to know about GPT-5. So Alex, thanks so much for joining me today, hanging out. Thanks for everybody who watched us watch the stream. It's been a pleasure, and see you guys. Bye.